Grief and sorrow followed storms in Iowa, Minnesota, Oklahoma. At least 8 killed and dozens injured after severe weather ripped through the Midwest. The house was gone, much of it blown away into a swamp. The couple was trapped in the debris, the husband with broken bones, and the wife with cuts to her face. But it wasn't their own safety they were worried about. They just kept screaming and screaming, "My children, my children." A neighbor said Monday, a day after violent storms killed at least 6 people in Iowa and 1 or more in the St. Paul suburb in Hugo, Minnesota. Washington County Sheriff Bill Hunton said 40 to 50 homes were left uninhabitable by Sunday's storm, and another 150 to 200 were damaged to some degree or another. The storm had yet to be confirmed as a tornado Monday, but National Weather Service meteorologist Todd Cross said it was very likely that was the case. And the governor said investigators were working to determine if the damage was significant enough to trigger federal aid. In Parkersburg, Iowa, at least half the town lay in ruins or heavily damaged following a tornado that hit Sunday afternoon. 4 people were killed there and 2 others died in nearby New Hartford. Some were killed even though they sought refuge in their basements. The Parkersburg mayor said at least 70 people were injured, including 2 in critical condition. The number of buildings damaged was staggering. At least 222 homes destroyed, 21 businesses destroyed, and more than 400 homes damaged. Parkersburg's City Hall, high school, and its only grocery store and gas station were all completely gone, totally destroyed. There's so much hurt here, and grief and sorrow, I don't know where to start, said U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, who owns a farm near New Hartford. A makeshift sign marked Russell's Circle, where Fred Everett held back tears as he surveyed a pile of splintered wood and metal scraps that the day before had been his and his wife's home. We have no place yet, the 85-year-old said. We are trying to get it cleaned up and save the stuff that we can. Hundreds and hundreds of people in Parkersburg going about the same heartbreaking task Monday. You really are overwhelmed when you see it. You just can't imagine this kind of devastation. Homes completely gone. And to see people trying to sort through their belongings is very difficult. Rescuers continued picking through the wreckage in search of possible victims in Iowa, but officials said they were hopeful that no one else remained to be found. Diane Goodrich rode out the storm in her basement with her husband and 3 neighbors. The noise was just totally unbelievable, she said as she searched through the ruins of her home. Our ears were popping. We could hear trees flying over us. We could hear every piece of furniture that left the house. The storm struck just after 5 p.m. Sunday, following an east-to-west path just a few miles north of the Waterloo area. It hit Parkersburg, New Hartford, and then Dunkerton, about 50 miles east of Parkersburg. About 80 miles to the southwest, Des Moines area had heavy rain and wind that gusted to at least 70 miles per hour. The governor issued a disaster proclamation for Black Hawk, Buchanan, and Butler counties. These storms, extreme storms, came after 3 days of even more violent weather in other parts of the country. Rural Oklahoma was battered Saturday, and storms in Kansas a day earlier were very bad. At least 100 people have been killed by U.S. twisters so far this year, or tornadoes, the worst toll in at least a decade. And according to the Weather Service, and the danger is not past yet. Tornado season typically peaks in the spring and early summer, and then again in the late fall. They've had more tornadoes this year than all the tornadoes last year. Or so far this year, they've had at least 120 or, I don't know, many more tornadoes than they had last year. No, this is not a normal year for tornadoes. It's not a normal year for weather. It's not a normal year for earthquakes. There's nothing at all normal about what's going on with the weather. The tornadoes, the cyclones, the earthquakes. And yes, hurricane season is just on the horizon. There's something going on with the weather and what's going on underground in the core of the earth, the atmosphere. Seems to be just a little more than global warming. Global warming has something to do with it. There's also more things going on here. These are more signs of end times, last days, transition days, whatever you want to call them. Yes, Jesus Christ, God, all the angels, the beings of light, they're coming back soon. And everyone needs to get ready as possible. We gotta get ready mentally, spiritually. These are more signs of the end times, transition days. And there are many.